Welcome back to Kimbo's Comfort Kitchen, and today we're going to do artichokes. We're going to do steamed artichokes. Now there's a bunch of different ways that you can do them, but today we're going to do steamed because that's pretty much the easiest, and I personally figure you get the most flavor, or the flavonoids out of it. It's really excellent. So the thing about artichokes is a lot of people aren't familiar with them. I know a lot of people have never had them before, but they go back to, well, before Roman times. There's a lot of literature it's mentioned in, believe it or not, and today, however, it is primarily grown in the Mediterranean, North Africa, Italy, Spain does as well, and they grow the globe artichoke primarily. There's other ones. There's a European one which is kind of purpley, and we're going to show you some artichoke plants that my wife Linda has grown from scratch. She grew them in the seeds inside in January, and this is now May. These have been outside for 3 weeks, and you can see how far they've grown. Now these are going to grow into like 6-foot high bushes. I have no idea what exactly how the fruit or the vegetable is going to look when it comes off the plant, but this is what you end up with. And in a minute we're going to go inside. I'm going to show you how to prep one of these. These are so easy to cook, and it's all about the sauces actually. I'm also going to show you how to make the sauces that go with it, and there are a myriad of different sauces, but I'm going to do 2 of them today. But very communal, a lot of fun. Hang out with your friends and dip. Oh yeah, it's COVID, so you each get your own. So we'll just make sure that you're all like social distancing when you have it. All right, so let's go inside and do the prep work. Okay, so let's get started. As I mentioned, so we're going to get rid of this on the stem here. Leaves here are going to go. There don't have anything. If you look, you can see here. This is the part that we're going to really go for later that's inside. This has what's a pulp that we like to take off with our teeth. But once we strip that down, I'm going to grab a knife. Let's see if we got this centered right. I'm left-handed, so it's harder to tell. But I'm just going to cut the top of the artichoke off like that, as you can see, and I'm going to pull these leaves out a bit because I'm going to want the water to get in there when we're steaming it. So just pull them out a bit here and there like that to the core. This is a really nice artichoke. I got to tell you, it's one of the nicest I've seen in a long time. Again, it's all about the weight. Now you could eat this. You could strip this down on the outside and peel it if you wanted, and you can eat this separately, which I may do, but for my purposes today I'm not gonna. Why? Because I don't need to. So these leaves here on the ends have got little spikes on them, so you want to be a little bit careful. Some of them are spikier than others. This one isn't too bad. So the idea is just cut these all the way around. Cut the tips off of all, I said tips, off all the leaves. Usually we put out some newspaper and sit down in the living room and just start cutting them all like this. And mostly that's just so that you can handle them more easily. Okay? It's more of an aesthetic thing than anything else, other than the fact that you don't want to spike yourself with them. But you get the idea. You get that? You can see that now? And we'll finish that up. Alright, so this is what the end result is for your basic prep. Little off the top. Take off the spikes so you don't hurt yourself. And then we're going to move on. We're going to put these in a pot of salted water. So the first sauce for the artichoke is a garlic aioli. This is super simple, super quick. And I've got all the ingredients on my website. But quite frankly, you can just eyeball it as well. I like to do this to taste. So I've got some onion flakes, some fresh chopped garlic. I'm going to put in there. A little bit of salt, And I've got some diced chipotle peppers with adobo. It's going to go in. And that's just totally up to you as how spicy you want this. I personally think that you don't want to go crazy because you're going to end up drowning out the flavor. And I'm going to put a little bit of lemon. Believe it or not, I usually go by the color. I'm going to throw in the rest of the mayo because I know I'm going to eat it all. And I'll even do another dollop of the chipotle. Now the trick to this sauce is to let it sit. You want all of these ingredients to amalgamate and have a chance to mature in the fridge. Oh yeah, this is good right now, but it's gonna be way better in about half an hour. I'm probably actually gonna let this sit in the fridge for about an hour. So that's the first sauce, and we'll move on to the next one. So sauce number 2 on the agenda is a Dijon, it's a Dijon honey sauce, if you will. So again, I've got all of these ingredients on my website, but you can see for yourself how incredibly easy this is. I mean, you make this ahead of time. By the time your guests arrive, you pull this out, put it on the table, and Bob's your uncle. You are done. So, to remind everybody, mustard is an amazing emulsifier. And we've got some honey, Dijon. It really doesn't get much simpler than this. I'm probably going to add more oil. Actually, I'm going to probably add a little bit more of everything. Some people like it. Linda likes this pretty thick, so I'm going to add a little bit more of everything, because I know she's going to be dipping. She's a heavy dipper. And as with the first sauce, when you make this, you want to let this sit. Now I'm going to season this with some salt and pepper. You notice I didn't add any more honey because I only want a slight hint of the sweetness to it. Well, let's see what this tastes like. Yeah, it's right up her alley. Like I said, this is really simple to make. Both these sauces and put in the fridge for half an hour to an hour. And by the time your artichokes are ready, you just pull them out, chilled, and away you go. So, next step is I've got the water just almost boiling here, but I'm going to put it in now. And I've clipped, you can see I've clipped these. And it's got a little bit brown. If you want to stop that from happening, it doesn't really matter, but you can put a little bit of lemon juice. So this is the steamer I have. There's other ones that are better, bigger pots, but I'm just doing 2 tonight. So, oh, I forgot. I'm going to throw some lemon slices in, and a bay leaf, and some garlic, cloves. And these are basically, obviously, just aromatics. And we put that on. And I'm going to let that sit now for about 30 minutes. You have to remember that not every artichoke is created equal. So some are younger, some are older than others, some are more dried out. So you know, the way you do it is you figure out after 30 minutes or 25 minutes, I'm going to lift the lid on this, and I will pull one of the outer leaves, which I'll show you in a second, and to see whether or not it's ready to go. So as I mentioned before, just like any other vegetables and fruit, we don't always know what the doneness is. So this is about 23, 24 minutes in. And to check for the doneness, I'm going to pull this leaf. Ouch, it's hot. Let's try this one. Okay, well, obviously it's not done yet. Duh. So I'm going to go another 5 minutes and we'll be back. Alright, so we're 30 minutes all in. Let's pull one of these little babies and see whether the leaves come out. And they do. Look at that. But you know what? They're still not quite there. So, believe it or not, we're going to go for another 10 minutes. All right, so we are 40 minutes in now, steaming. And I got to tell you, I've had a couple of things. See how it just came off on the bottom here? This is done. But just to be sure, oh, there you go. Well, I'm sure now. Yeah. But I need to say one thing. Normally, I don't put the lemon and the garlic and the bay leaf in when I'm steaming them. I did it this time because I read about it on the interweb. And I thought, okay, let's give it a shot and see what happens. And you know what? I gotta say, I'm not sure whether I like it or not yet. But I will when we get the dipping sauces. So right now, these are perfect. I'm going to turn the heat off, and I'm going to put them in a bowl, and we'll take them out to the table. Okay, so now we're going to push these open. You can see this coming open. Oh, yes. Yes, baby. So these particular ones I'm going to pull from the center. And you can see this. And I'm going to go with the garlic aioli. Okay. Those are pretty phenomenal. Let's go with the Dijon. These are perfect. Once we get down to the center, we'll come back. Okay, now we're down to the core, or the choke. So Linda's going to show us exactly how to finish this off. If we can see, because her hands are in the way. Here we go. So, now we've got that out. Now in the center is what we see is typical for a thistle. All those little hairs. And what you're left with is the stuff that you buy in the can. There we go. Well, that was pretty expertly done. Better than I did. Now what? Ooh. Okay. That's it. And now you're done. There's everything. The artichoke and the choke. So that's how you make artichokes or cook artichokes. It's not that tough. The only thing is, I showed you a couple of sauces. You can Google, look on whatever, find sauces all over the place. Sauces are awesome. But the artichoke itself, the only thing you have to remember is not to overcook it. Or undercook it, for that matter. But when you've got them in the pot, just pull them out after 25 minutes. Take a peek. Doesn't hurt them. Take another peek at 35, maybe longer. We all know that vegetables are ripe at certain times and all the rest of it. So don't be afraid to go and check it. There's no set rule in terms of how long it's going to take to cook. As much as people say there is, there isn't. So it's up to you. All you want to make sure is that the leaves pull out really easy and you're off to the races, okay? So listen, if you like this recipe, please subscribe and we will see you soon.